Spectacle comes and spectacle goes. Where does it end? Nobody knows. We've been on this road now for quite some time, yet there never seems to be an end to our arduous climb. So press your shoulder forward and continue the path on, for all this keeps moving long after you're gone. Today is a special day, and it is that time. So gather one, gather all, for this moment I call mine. Good evening and welcome to the show. My name is Marina and I am your host, as I am most nights. We have a special treat for all of you tonight. Currently, I'm coming to you live from the BlockBuster in Old Town. Now, VHS and rental places aren't as big as they used to be in previous decades, but that hasn't stopped the popularity of this BlockBuster at all. This store is packed to the brim with all your needs for whatever analog media you want to consume. DVDs, Laserdisc, whatever that is, VHS tapes, and more. I was really impressed walking in here. It's surprisingly busy. But then again, I shouldn't really be too surprised by that. The ghosts are super into all this analog stuff. The entire store is just filled with this sea of white sheet ghosts who maintain the property, rent videos, give movie trivia, and make up most of the customer base, if we're being honest. In fact, I'm not really sure if this place is up and running because there's a huge revival in analog media, or if the building is being haunted by ghosts. Whatever the case, the BlockBuster is up and thriving once again. And it's really easy to see why. I mean, who wouldn't enjoy a video? There's a certain charm in old analog tapes that's harder to find in digital formats. Currently, I am here for movie night, a special ritual the ghosts have started to put on in order to drum up more business and to show off the cool tapes they found in the back of the room. None of these tapes are marked, and so no one really knows where they came from or what they show. Those who were at the last movie night apparently report seeing visions of a world they once knew. Something that they could have lived, if only they'd made a different decision. If only life had been a bit kinder. And then, of course, there were some who reported seeing some big purple dinosaur dancing on screen with a bunch of children, so it's a toss-up of what you can get. But I think that's part of the charm. You don't really know what's coming. And I, for one, am excited to see what gets pulled up. Currently, the ghosts are still digging around in the back, and everyone is still getting seated as we settle in. So while we wait, why don't we take a look at traffic? there is a delay on Ravens Road heading through Sparrow Crossing. A big crash has brought traffic to a complete standstill. Details are hazy, but know that no one is hurt, and there is a lot of popcorn. Like, a lot of popcorn. No, not what you're thinking right now. Like, stop for a minute. Imagine what a lot of popcorn would constitute. No, more than that. Even more. Okay, you got that? Good. Now triple that. City officials are currently doing their best to reroute traffic, contain the mess, and clean things up, but again, it's a lot of popcorn. Not to point any fingers or name any names, because that would just be terrible, but we're all doing the best we can to get by in this city. And sometimes accidents happen. And sometimes you're the owner of a small independent movie theater who is trying to get by even though you haven't heard from your partner in months and you order too much popcorn. And sometimes that popcorn gets delivered but not quite in the way you need because there's still an arsonist on the loose apparently, because apparently she didn't get arrested when we had the chance. And sometimes that leads to popcorn explosions because you accidentally hit the zero a couple more times than you thought you did, and now the entire road is flooded. Hypothetically. Anyways, if you're in the area and fond of this delicious low-calorie snack, please consider stopping by and helping with the cleanup. The city's police promise that the popcorn is mostly clean and completely tasty. So head over to Ravens Road and do your part. As for everyone stuck on the road, well, good luck. Maybe consider a detour if you can. But if not and you're just trapped there, rest assured that I'll be here to help get you through this rough commute. And this is all for traffic. I'm getting reports of a massive kerfuffle happening at the Wisteria Institute's main research facility over by Star Park. Apparently, there's been a break-in. Some very sensitive documents seem to have been stolen, along with a few dinosaur bones. The assailants have yet to be identified. All we know is that whoever is behind this was well organized and had a solid understanding of the Institute's inner workings. Things are pretty hectic down there at the moment. The Wisteria Institute is on lockdown in hopes of finding the thieves. So far, nothing useful has turned up. And so they've asked us to turn to the public. They're offering a reward for any useful information that leads to a capture of these thieves. So, do with that what you will. I'm sure all of you know exactly what to do and exactly how to do it to set things right. Now enough of that. Let's read a poem. Time rolls by like cars on the street, barely giving a glance to the buildings they meet, basked in the glow of a neon sun, the past of the future that once begun. Boxes and shelves stacked in a dazzling feat, a community spectacle turned obsolete. Here lies the future dreams, the past left behind, candy-colored artifacts from a happier time. The ghosts of the memories of the places we knew turned and faded and lost while we grew. How many todays die for the promise of tomorrow? Anticipation drives through a road paved in sorrow. Time rolls on like cars on its streets, barely giving a glance to the buildings they meet. We're all just blips in an ever-changing world, phantoms and lines that forever get blurred. Well, that isn't very nice. This just in, Strange lights are emanating from the forest over here by Old Town. I know this because it's crazy bright, and I can see it all the way over here from the BlockBuster. Geez, between this and the Wisteria Institute break-in, it's been a very busy night. It's almost like there's some overly elaborate B-plot going on in the background that we're not focusing on for whatever reason. Oh well, everybody's up to everything, and we only get a small piece of it. Also, there's like some sort of ominous guitar riff going on. I don't know if that's like something to worry about, or if there's like a local musician that's really going through it. Whatever the case, there is something, and it's kind of annoying. Not to worry though, the ghosts are pulling the curtains closed, and the sound is fading. Now we can focus on movie night without any problem. We're almost there. The chairs are set up, blankets, couches, beanbags, and we even have an old popcorn maker from the 1930s that's making a fresh batch. One of the ghosts, the one with the sunglasses, managed to restore the thing and got it working. They have a knack for fixing things like that, and now we all get to enjoy its work. A few of us have settled into fuzzy old couches and beanbag chairs around a very large, old, boxy plasma screen TV. Michelle Michaels is here, along with Allison Albright. They're currently trying to figure out how to sit comfortably into an inflatable love seat, which is honestly a really big struggle. But hey, I think they're doing a great job. Slowly sinking deeper and deeper into the folds of one another as they try to swim out of the plastic. But hey, good jobs come in all shapes and sizes. You know, I haven't really had a good chance to get a good look at this BlockBuster. Or well, any BlockBuster, if I'm being honest. What can I say? They were a little bit before my time. I grew up on DVDs and only vaguely knew what a VHS tape was. When I was born, video rental stores were already starting to die out. And by the time I was old enough to pay attention, they were already gone. So yeah, this is all super new and exciting and retro for me. If it helps, I think this is all super nice. Rows of old movies and on shelves promising a good time. Old box TVs line a wall surrounded by colorful strings of neon lights. There's even a bunch of retro game consoles set up in the corner. I like it. And you know, it's funny. I have no personal connection to most of this stuff. And yet, it all feels weirdly familiar. Almost comforting. I don't know. Can you feel nostalgic for a time you never lived? Probably. The smell alone brings back warm fuzzies from a yesteryear. I don't know how to fully describe it. In any case, the ghosts have done a fantastic job getting this BlockBuster up and running. It looks and feels like the year 1993 in here. And yet also somehow in line with years prior and a few years that came after. I don't know. You should really come down here and check it out for yourself. Also, I was born after 1993, so I don't really know what that year would look like. Anyways, the ghosts are still huddling in the back room at the moment, so you have time to come down for movie night. We're still waiting, and we're still watching, so in the meantime, let's have a look at horoscopes for today. Stars flicker from the face of a neon god, spreading a message of promise from worlds beyond. What could we be, and where do we go? What do you see in the faint TV glow? Radio static that sings you to sleep, harmonies and melodies with familiar clicks and beeps. You're lingering in a room all cozy and warm. A peaceful moment just before the storm. A familiar tune finally ends with a click. It all fades to black at the end of the flick. A snowy haze fills an old plasma friend. The game is over now. Would you like to play again? Stars flicker from the face of a neon god, spreading a message of promise from worlds beyond. What could we be and where do we go? What do you see in the faint TV glow? The stars have spoken. Okay, so I don't mean to alarm anyone, but it would appear that all the ghosts have suddenly disappeared to the back rooms of the BlockBuster. Slowly at first, and then suddenly, all of our spectral hosts have disappeared behind the blue curtain. And now a thick white fog has started to leak in from the back, as well as a weird static noise. I'm not sure, is it coming through on your end? Can you hear it? Can you hear the static? I swear it's all I hear. It's so loud. It's basically vibrating my teeth. Yeah, so clearly there are some technical difficulties going on. Or maybe there's disagreements over which movie we should watch tonight. Or maybe it's some other third option. I don't know. This city is full of wonders, and lately there have been some really weird anomalies happening, so who's to say? I mean, it's not like our city was the most normal place to begin with. I mean, half of the essential functions are being run by medium-sized mammals. It works. I'm not complaining because things get done, but still, anything can happen. So why is this any different? Okay, so update, the fog is getting pretty bad in here. People are trying to open the doors and windows to ventilate, but everything's locked. So, great! I think I'm going to go look in the back for the ghosts. I'm not sure what I can do to help, but hey, I have a black belt in magic eye powers, and I've fixed a lot of weird things in this city. So what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to go deal with this whole situation now. Everybody else, stay calm, don't worry, and please enjoy this quick word from our sponsors. Hopefully none of them are from the Stereo Institute. What? I didn't say anything. I did not say anything that would be against our loving sponsors. Alright, well, talk to you all soon. For every will that would, and every would that will. For every moments that are neither, both, or in between. For every time the bell curve rings. For when you promise you're making progress to honestly prove improvements possible. There is one, and there is only TikTok. The glass is half full, so you might as well drink it. TikTok. What are you waiting for? Drink it. TikTok. Drink the glass, coward. TikTok. Why are you hesitating? TikTok. Don't you trust us? TikTok. Don't you trust me? TikTok. Drink it. TikTok. After everything we've been through, after everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me? You selfish brats. You terrible, awful, disgraceful human being. TikTok. You hate me. That's it. That's what it is, isn't it? After everything we've been through, all I ever do is try to make you happy. And yet here we are. It's never enough. TikTok. Oh, you drank it. You drank the whole thing. Well,
Never mind. Never mind. TikTok.
The singularity is the point of no return. Everything that comes before is matter, spinning, unwinding, dwindling further and further into narrow strings of energy. Over and over, it spirals and swirls, reaching ever closer to the one single point where nothing escapes. The event horizon, the promise of dawn, the point in which that goes beyond. There is no turning back. There is no telling what's on the other side. Dear listeners, I have entered the room behind the curtain. I wasn't quite sure what awaited me. Maybe storage, maybe explicit videos, maybe something else entirely. It's hard to say in a city like ours. And yet, this isn't quite what I had in mind. A maze of neon TV boxes stretched across a blue arcade carpet. Televisions, big plasmas, old box sets, even a few flat screens thrown in every now and then. They surround and stack and envelop into towering walls and turns. The fog seems to have dissipated some, but there's a charge in the air. A static that promises to go off at any moment. I'm walking through the corridors. I'm searching for the center. And yet with every turn, I find myself just as lost as ever. It's funny. This maze gets weirder and weirder the longer I walk. Flowers are poking through the TVs, and screens randomly turn on. I don't know. The layout keeps changing. I keep getting turned around, and I feel like I've been walking a lot longer than I should have. How big is this BlockBuster anyways? I swear, I've gone way beyond what the store should be able to reasonably hold. And now, I come to a set of screens making a staircase. They lead up to a circular tower. What's that about? Where does it go? I wish I could say. The screens are changing yet again. Something's shifting. Videos are starting to play. I think I see ghost heads popping from atop the tower. Is that music? Hold on, everyone. I think the ghosts are up there, but I've reached the end of my extension cord on my microphone, so I'm going to set you guys down in the corner by a TV. Hopefully it doesn't play anything weird. We're going to figure this out. Probably. I'm going to figure this out. You guys are going to stay here, because again, we're at the end of my extension cord, so... Okay, here I go. See you all soon. I began my ascent up the tower, and as I climbed, every single TV screen, every single box, every single monitor sprung to life. There were sparks rippling all through the maze, and then videos. Some showed footage of a warm summer day in a meadow on the mountains. Another showed the first night out on the town with new friends. There was a 6th birthday party, a day at the beach, a cozy night with the sound of rain prickling across the window, and so much more. Each and every screen, each and every one, a singular moment, a snippet, a fragment of life. Some were happy, some were scary, some were weird, and others just were. In each and every single moment, each and every single person was alive. And it was beautiful, and it was messy, and it was contradictory, and it simply was. Some of these looked familiar. Others looked like things that could have been. And some I didn't recognize at all. I climbed to the top of the stairs. I stood at the top of the tower, and there I found all of our lovely ghost hosts, standing together in a circle around a haphazard stack of old box TVs, covered with white and blue lilies. A singular VHS tape rested on top of it, like an offering on an altar. It was marked with a piece of tape that simply read, October 31st, 2020. One of the ghosts gestured for me to take it, so I did, and I brought it back to the front of the store. And when I got there, I plopped it into the VHS player, and we watched it. The video showed a wedding. Chairs were lined up with flowers and ribbons. An aisle led down to a gazebo by a lake. String lights were hung around the bow. The sky was clear and radiant. Everything was bright, charming, lovely, if weddings are your type of thing and don't give you mild anxiety every time you think about them. The cameraman buzzed around, asking guests what they thought about the whole thing. There were laughs, sweet words, and something about a former mayor getting thrown in jail. I'm not really sure what that was about, but people were really happy about it, so I guess we all have our own shadows to work through. At some point, an older man yelled at everyone to take their place. There was a shuffle, and then the camera cuts off. The next scene starts, and we see a man in a suit standing at the gazebo. He has a messy sort of hair bun situation going on, but it works for him. It's quiet. He shifts anxiously back and forth on his feet, looking down at the ground, and then the music starts. The man looks up, and all the anxiety fades from his face. A woman walks another man down the aisle. He's tall, with broad shoulders, curly dark hair, and glasses. Something about him seemed familiar, though I didn't place it at the time. I just watched. The woman walked the man to the gazebo and hands him off. Then the other man holds his hands, and they turn to the camera. They smile at each other. And that's when it hits me. I was watching the wedding that Jack Wright never had the chance to have. It was a beautiful service. Tender, sincere, earnest, everything you could want. Both Jack and his husband looked tired, like it took a lot to get there, but they were both happy to finally make it. After they were told to kiss, Jack held his groom close. You'd think Jack was afraid that he'd slip through his hands if he let up for even a second. They kissed, people cheered, tears were shed, and then it all faded back to black. A beautiful memory from a beautiful life that never had the chance to be. So, yeah, overall, movie night was a success. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but then again, I don't really have a lot of experience with VHS tapes. This was great, though. Exciting, even. I'm left with a lot of things to think about later, and maybe a tape or two that I might have to rent. Along with all the other stuff I need to play it. Because, most of this stuff is older than me. Not by much, but still. Anyways, the weird lights and sounds have stopped. The night is young and beautiful, and possibility is in the air like the smell of popcorn. May you all find the beautiful memories that have yet to be made, and may you all be free from the phantoms of the memories that were never made. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Dreamgirl City is a production by N.J. Schulze. It was written, produced, and acted by N.J. Schulze. The poems featured for today are BlockBuster's On the Curb and Ode to the PlayStation 2, both by N.J. Schulze. Have a question? Have a comment? Want to scream about this on social media because it is the linchpin in all your theories about where this season is going? Email this some more to dreamgirlcityradio@gmail.com or check us out on social media. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got them TikToks. I will never go on X, but hey, we're on Tumblr. If you feel like supporting this podcast, please consider our Acast support feature, or simply rate and review us and share us wherever you get your podcasts. We grow by word of mouth, and everything and anything you do to help spread our good cheer helps us grow even stronger. Thank you so much for everyone for sticking with us this season, and just remember, more is to come, so don't you dare run.